Sup guys, today we'll be talking about another kata from CodeWars website. This time I will be talking about a kata named sum of digits or digital root. Let's take a look on the instructions. Okay, so basically on a given number you have to sum all the digits, and once you got the result you have to check if it's equal more than one digit, and in case if it is, you have to sum these two or three numbers until you get a root sum of numbers. Okay, so for example, let's take this number. Okay, if you split it by 9, 4 and 2, like here, 9, 4, 2, and you sum them, you get 15. You have two digits. Now you can split also these numbers, 1 and 5, and now when you sum it you get 6. So this is what they want us to do. So the most important thing is the way you think. The great thing about CodeWars is that you have no limits. Sometimes you do have limits, but it doesn't matter which way you try to solve it. As long as it solves the problem, it's fine. Okay, I'm not going to use any special or hard functions, no lambdas. I will be using simple functions. So what we have to do actually is make a function which will check all the time this number. It will split it, it will count the number of digits inside this number, and a function that will sum these numbers, and everything has to be done in a loop until we get a number which is one digit. So let's start. I'm going to make just a random number. Let's say it will be something like this. Okay, completely random. Now let's save these numbers here. Okay, this will be the list where we are going to save the numbers. Now let's define the functions. Okay, so the first function will be the one that will split the number into one digit numbers. Let's call it some numbers. Okay, we have to get the we have to get the numbers. Now since it will be a string, okay, I cannot use for loop and go through all the numbers if it will be an int. So I converted this number into a string. I'm using a string in this case. Okay, so for each number in string numbers, okay, I will be later passing the new numbers each time after checking them if they are bigger than one digit. And we're going to save it in the list. At the end we want to return the list. Second function will be summing the digits. Oops. Let's define a new variable to save the sum for digit in digits. Now if you remember, I converted it to string, and I cannot concatenate or add int and string, so I have to convert it to int. At the end we want to return the sum of these numbers, and the last function will be the one that will check the length of the number. Okay, in this case the length will be 6. We want to use this function as long as the length of the number is bigger than 1. We want to return the length of the string numbers. Okay, now let's create the while loop. I will copy paste it. Okay, we will use this variable for the while loop, and since it's string I have to cast int. So as long as it's bigger than 1, we want to go through all these functions. So let's create a new variable. Okay, so the first line of the while loop is to save the list in a new variable named numbers. We're going to send some number, in this case it will be this number, and we're going to save this list here. Now we have to define some number again, so it won't use the same number each time. In this case, this new number will be the sum of all these digits. In this example, let's do it like this. What this code is going to do is actually this function. So in this case, the new number will be 29. So once it will go through the loop again, this time it will split this number. So our list won't have these numbers, it will have 2 and 9. We have to define again our length because it's part of the while condition. This time we're going to simply send some number into this function. And another important thing is to clear the list, because if you won't do it, what's going to happen is that this while loop will be insufficient, because it will add all the time the numbers into the list, and the number will keep growing. Okay, so let's do it manually. So the next time the code will do 2 plus 9, it will be 11. It's still bigger than 1, the length of this number. Next time the code will do 1 plus 1, and it will be equal to 2. Let's execute the code. Oops. Print some number. Okay, here we go. So what is nice about this exercise is that it makes you think how to reach the goal of this task. So see you guys in the next video. Bye.